Oh, hi. I was just thinking about how all the rewards of applying the partner mindset technique have occurred in my life, and they just keep paying off. From discounts to upgrades to better relationships, life just keeps getting easier. Less conflict and less resistance. I'm constantly amazed by the power I have to influence the people and situations around me. Life is rich, my friends. And the great news is that this power is available to everyone. I want to share a story with you from my personal life because I believe that's where the rewards might be the greatest. Back in 2006, a friend of mine and we were hanging out on a beach in Greece when she told me this very powerful story. She said she knew this woman by the name of Isabel. And Isabel had a rather tense and difficult relationship with her teenage daughter who visited every summer. Well, one particular summer, Isabel was especially nervous because the visit was to be extended. So Isabel was feeling anxious about how she would manage the tension and avoid the numerous conflicts that typically took place during these visits. She told my friend that, the first 10 days she managed pretty well. And then one night, things broke down at the dinner table. Her stepdaughter had been there long enough that the initial welcome and pleasantries had worn off. And this particular night, tensions were running high when her stepdaughter made a derogatory comment about the food. Isabel felt herself losing control, or as some might say, losing her emotional sobriety. Isabel managed yelling and throwing broccoli au gratin across the table. Though in that moment, she remembered a technique someone had once described to her. And they said that during moments of stress, do something completely different and unexpected. Okay. So instead of exploding verbally, like she had done multiple times in the past, Isabel calmly put her fork down. She stood up, she pushed her chair back, and she proclaimed in a booming master of ceremonies voice, "It's now time for the chicken dance." Then Isabel folded her hands up under her armpits, flapping makeshift wings, and began squawking loudly like this. She must have looked like a chicken on Red Bull across the kitchen. The whole family was apparently stunned into silence. And then a moment later, they burst into laughter. Isabel then calmly sat down, and with a warm smile, she said, "Would you pass the broccoli?" When I heard the story, I immediately described it in an email back to my boyfriend who was in Switzerland. Side note here. My boyfriend informed me prior to leaving for Greece, he said, "Honey, those bursts of anger, when they're directed at me, it's not working for me." And he requested, very reasonably, that I speak to him more calmly when I get angry. The problem was, my angry reactions felt so difficult to control, I had no idea what else to do. And now the chicken dance offered me an alternative. In fact, I had the opportunity to practice not long after my boyfriend and I had driven, not long after this event in Greece. And what happened was my boyfriend and I, we'd driven to this concert. It was a Ben Harper concert. We're all excited. We're in the parking lot. We're in this parking lot for something like 20 minutes driving around looking for a spot. And suddenly I saw one in the lane next over to us. So I said to my boyfriend, "Honey, would you hop out and stand in the spot and save it for us?" And he did. And when I drove the car around, I found my boyfriend standing in front of the car that had just taken our spot. And I said, "What happened?" Possibly with a little too much energy. And when my boyfriend got back in the car, he explained that the other driver had been quite aggressive taking the parking spot. And we can imagine how that would happen. Though, nonetheless, I was furious that we had lost this spot. And there was this moment of very unpleasant silence between us. And in a low voice, I heard my boyfriend say, "Honey, Is it time for the chicken dance? Well, it clearly was. As soon as I started squawking and flapping my elbows, we were laughing and ended up having a delightful evening. So my friends, the chicken dance is a powerful technique. It will alter your behavior, your attitude, and shift your mood quickly. I encourage you to use your version of it the next time you feel yourself slipping out of partner. That's my tip for today. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to visit my website or check out my YouTube channel or my book, The Ego Tango, for more tips on becoming a more powerful communicator. Thanks for tuning in and happy partnering.